live.
Yeah.
This is Creativaire.
Yep.
Chris Dawson.
Maya Dawson.
We are Creativaire, and we are thrilled to actually start something. We've been talking about doing something like this for a while because we're creatives.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of creatives. We support a lot of creatives. If you follow us, you know we support a lot of creatives. And the two creatives that we're going to be talking with this evening, you have heard about, whether you realize it or not. We've been pushing really hard something called The List. Okay. Yeah. The List is a short film that is going to be premiering in a little over a week. Yeah. And we are sitting down this evening to talk with the writer and the executive producers of this short film. So I want to introduce them. Very near and dear to my heart, but we have Paul and Carla Sherman here, husband and wife duo of the amazing WFGG, which stands for Works from God's Garden. And so I'm just going to pull the cat out the bag. You may or may not know, Paul Sherman is my uncle. He's my amazing uncle. And I have to say this before I read his bio. A lot of people ask me, you know, where I get my ear from. A lot of people ask me, where do I get my insight or my prowess when it comes to musicianship, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to branding. And a lot of it is due to this man right here. I mean, from a young age, I was in the studio with him, learning about the downbeat, learning about the offbeats, learning about hooks, learning about all kinds of stuff. And so I've sat under his tutelage for most of my life, if not all of it. And it's just been amazing to come alongside him in this journey. So I'm going to read his bio and then we'll dive on in. Okay. So Paul Sherman is the creator of WFGG Movies, currently writing and directing short and feature films in Atlanta, Georgia. Born in Gary, Indiana, Paul played and sang in several bands, going on to attend the Chicago Conservatory of Music. He later relocated to Minneapolis, where he played the Twin Cities club circuit and was signed as a singer-songwriter to an independent record label. From there, he created IDA Productions in Atlanta, Georgia. And in the early 2000s, he began to author more inspirational music, books, and now scripts under his company, Words from God's Garden. So we're excited about WFGG. We're excited about The List. And I'm going to turn it over to my hubby to kick us off.
Yeah, so I guess the first question that we want to ask you guys is tell us about your journey. Well, tell us about your journey as an artist and how you got into filmmaking.
Okay. How I got into filmmaking. The bio, I mean, Maya, you kind of spill the beans on a whole lot of information already. But, I've been pretty much a musician my entire life. You know, things like starting my own band at 13 years old and, you know, trying to make money around town and playing wherever they want to hear us. And I've been an artist, I guess, my entire life, whether it be music, painting, and what else? Writing books and visual arts and just using my ear and stuff. And I was always a different kind of kid, I thought. And for a while, I used to kind of push back on that because I didn't want to be different. But I didn't know at the time that was the me that was trying to get out as the artist. And when I embraced that, everything changed. Everything changed. The world actually accepted me because I guess I accepted who I really was. And to be honest, I think sometimes I am kind of different, but I think most artists are, you know.
Absolutely.
And the way I got into the film, I've always, you know, like I said, I've always written visually. You know, even when I wrote songs, I would use words and very descriptive words and make you see and feel what I'm singing about or writing about. And that just spilled over into everything that I do, even, you know, writing books. It was the same process. And I'm really big on processes, having a process rather, because it locks you in. So if you ever get lost, you don't know where you are, you can go back to step 3 to get to 4 and 5 and 6. And that's just been my method. And I think that also taught me to learn stuff very quickly, because the first thing I want to do is, what's the process? Not saying that the spirituality and the creativity doesn't come into play. It does, big time. That's when you know, but you need to know the rules. And that's how you break the rules, by knowing them also.
Wow.
And like I said, out in the film, it was new to me, but I'm always open to, I'm always a sponge when it comes to learning something new. I just love that. Even at the age of 66, I'm retired now, and I'm able to, that drive is still there. And a lot of people my age, they don't understand it, but I told them that's the only way I know to be. That's who I've been my entire life. So yeah, and getting back to the film process, I've been lucky enough lately to run into a lot of great mentors who have cut my learning curve into a third of what it could or should have been. And I just film, I just love it. So we're working on, like you said, we're working on a couple scripts. We have a couple other things that we should finish by the end of the year. So I'm working on something. I'm working on scripts as we speak, new projects, and ideas just come every day. Every day, clockwork. In fact, I keep my phone and I just record them. Ideas that I probably, there's so many, I know I'll never finish them all, but I just get the information down for later.
That's good. That's a good thing, man, to always have something on hand. And then also a great thing is to always have mentors, even at, I think when people get older, people may say, well, I don't need a mentor because I'm older. I should be mentoring people, but you never stop learning.
Never.
You know what I mean? And that's one of those things where it's like, if you stop learning, then you stop succeeding, because you need to learn something almost every day, honestly.
Every day.
You know what I mean? So that's a great thing, man. That's a great thing.
100%. Yes, sir.
Carla, were you going to share something?
No, I was just going to say he does write down everything. He has ideas 24/7. He's either recording them or he's putting them in a notebook or something. I have years worth of napkins and Post-its and notebook paper of this man's ideas. So he is the he is a creator all the time.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's good.
I love it.
That's good. So I think the next question would be, what made you write the list? Like, was it something that impacted you to say, something personal? Was it something that you saw? Was it something that like you heard, or what made you say, hey man, this has to come up and this has to be the first thing to come?
Yeah. Well, it's been, I guess, let's put it this way. I always say, when anybody asks me anything about the list, I always start out like this. The list is a story about a father and son and the father actually left the son before he was even born. So he never even got to meet him. So, and personally, I kind of lived that. And I always say, I've been the son, and unfortunately, I was also the father. So it was easy to write on one hand, but difficult on the other hand. It was easy because I knew both stories. It was difficult because I had to go through both stories again to finish it. And I also knew that this story was needed, because I know there's a ton of young men who struggle with this same issue, especially if you didn't have a positive, not have to be your father, but a positive male figure in your life.
Yeah.
There's young men and they turn out a different way, So I knew that everything that I was going to go through with this film is going to help a ton of people. And like I said, I don't always take all the responsibility, credit for doing things. God sends me stuff and I'm just a messenger. I deliver, and like I said, this particular film, it pretty much wrote itself, because it was very easy to write. I just had to sit down and do the work, and it just turned the corner. It turned the corner, and I was pretty much done before actually, when I started, it was already pretty much done. I just had to do
Wow.
the physical work of getting it down, and getting this shot was a beautiful experience because I had never done that before. So I learned it, and like I said, I'm a sponge. I learned a ton of stuff, and they always say if you don't learn a lot of stuff when you're first film, shame on you. I learned a ton of stuff, so I'm actually have gone even from just a writer to the director in our next couple features. So I mean, a feature and a short.
Wow.
So yeah, I learned a lot, and like I said, this film is necessary because a lot of young men and older men, it's going to open up dialogue. It's open dialogue from guys that I never heard say certain things. My cousins, my brother, and guys that I've known my whole life. They are telling me things about their lives that I didn't even realize how they felt the way they felt. But it also showed me who they are. Now, certain things I was wondering, like, why do you do this and why do you feel that way? When they went into their history, which we always call the emotional wound, it told me everything about them. So also this movie can help young women. Most people think automatically men and males that's their total audience, but females can get a ton of information from this because if they ever meet a gentleman or a young man that's gone through some of this, it can explain who he is.
That's good.
It can help them choose their mate. So it's quite natural and easy to say, oh, it's a man's movie or film, but not necessarily. It has many layers, and I'm still getting information from other people who bring different aspects to it. And I'm like, wow, I never even thought of that. But it's very powerful for women to watch this because, like I said, it can explain who their child is going to be if they don't have a positive male figure in his life. Yeah, he can have some issues. Sometimes they say he's showing out and this and why. They're going to pick up a lot of things in this film that can explain why he is who he is.
Wow.
True.
Well, I mean, I think one question I had that what you just said was being both, being the father and the son. Was it something that being both when you was writing that you didn't want to go there? You didn't want to go that far, but God took you that way, or like your emotions took you there.
Yeah. It was tough at times, but I knew that it was necessary. And I'm always the type of person that I don't shy away from a challenge and stuff, especially when God puts something in front of me and he tells me, I need you to do this. And he chose me for a reason. Anybody, like I said, there's hundreds of men, celebrities, you name it, that has gone through this. So anybody, a lot of guys could have wrote this exact same story because I always say everybody has a list. It might not be exactly the same, but every guy pretty much have a list, especially if you are going through all of the things that happens to this guy in the movie. You have a list. You have a list,
Wow.
I was going to ask, can you just take us a little bit through the creation process? I know there are so many people that have, ideas on the inside of them. I know Carla was just talking about how, you wake up with ideas. You're always talking about things, putting them in your phone. But and a lot of people have great ideas, but what causes you to stand apart is you brought your idea to fruition. So can you talk with us a little bit about what it took in order for you to take this particular idea and to manifest it and bring it into fruition? Like, what was that process like? How long did it take? What did you have to push through in order to really bring it into fruition?
Yeah. I'm a big reader. There's one book, I can't remember the author, but it's called Do the Work. This book taught me how to finish. Everybody start I'm guilty myself. Back in the, I would start stuff. It's easy to start, but but there's things that in the book they called it. I can't remember, but resistance. But you run into the resistance halfway through, a third of the way through, and most people quit. That's the easy thing to do. And then all of a sudden you have this stack of unfinished projects that you started. But I trained myself to finish.
Wow.
You know, simply because of, and like I said, I think even before I read that book, I would finish, but I was struggling. When I would run into resistance, I would I didn't recognize what it was until I read this book, and it explained what resistance is, how to get past it, how to move forward. And here's the key. Once you finish one thing or the first thing, you can repeat the process. Now you know, I can do this. I can finish the next project and the next project. So like I said, I have my challenges, especially when you start to work with other people. When I'm writing, I write a lot by myself, so I can control most of that. I'm at home, but I get my chores done, and I'm allowed to write. but anyway, I've just trained myself to, and most guys say I don't have time, and I don't have. Every one of us has the same 24 hours a day. It's just a matter of your choices and what you do with those hours. If you make that a priority to sit down and write, I make a priority to write 4 to 5 hours every single day.
Wow. I thought you were going to say every single week. You said every single day.
Every single day. I say my prayers, I meditate. And another thing, scheduling. We like routine. So I get up, I say my prayers, I do my meditation, I might eat breakfast and stuff, and then I go do my walk. Okay, and if it's really, really hot, I might have to push it off to the evening, which throws me off. But I try and keep a routine. But I try and get my 4 to 5 hours in every day of writing. And it might and here's the key. It's not always great writing, but don't scrap it because you didn't have a good writing day.
That's good.
And the mistakes teach you. Mistakes are beautiful for teaching you. You want to learn more. Ask any successful person how they got there. Mistakes teach you. I always say, I'd be willing to bet Michael Jordan missed more shots, buzzer beaters, than he made.
Yes.
But that's what taught him the practice, to do it over and over. That's how you get the buzzer beater. The mistakes that's the beauty, because that's
so good.
The biggest lessons. And I've learned these things, and I hope to God that most people don't have to wait until they're in their 50s and 60s. That's why I give it to you. If I have something I think can help you, get the information. You don't have to use it. You can tell me, Paul, you're old school, that doesn't work anymore. That's fine. But get it and then use it if you need it, and if it works, great. So I'm always the guy that gives. I have to give you what I know.
I love it.
Unfair for me to take it with me and don't spread it and don't give it to somebody else. If I've been down this dark road, why should I let you walk behind me and don't tell you what's down there?
Yes.
And I'm on my way back up this dark road. I can tell you, hey, you're going to run into this, you're going to run into that. And now it's up to you. Am I going to take your advice and watch for this or for that? But there's no need to repeat it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I finished. To get back to your point, your question. I finished because I've trained myself.
I love it.
It's a matter of routine. In fact, whenever I have to break my routine for whatever reason, I don't feel right. It's off.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can last a whole day because I'm out of sync.
Yeah.
But I realize I'm out of sync, so I just start again. I just start, and start from that point. So, but yeah, those are important questions. See, I'm loving this because you're asking me questions that took me years to learn, and I don't want younger people to take years to learn this stuff.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. And honestly, it may not just be somebody younger. It could be somebody your age, our age, somebody who's. I'm not saying we're older, but just saying that your experience could bless somebody else.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the things that's the beauty of this is that you hear stories of so many entertainers that, you know, their first movie was this when they was at 40 something, or this, or you know, different things. And I think hearing your story is such an amazing thing. And you know, sometimes we always have those regrets, like I wish I'd have done that at this age, but you know, you doing it right now at the age you're doing, and you have time to do it.
Yeah.
It's
not too late. That's good stuff. We're about to get into the long-awaited premiere of this trailer. So are y'all ready? I'm excited. Like I know we've been doing all kind of promotions and everything to just tell people about the premiere, but the fact that it's coming, like it's here. So all right, you all, without further ado, we're going to premiere the trailer for The List.
I feel like you missed that deep voice. You know what I mean? Like
you need that Morgan Freeman in there.
A movie. Impact generation.
Yes. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about this premiere. There is a premiere screening coming up, you all, for this short film on Saturday, August the 5th at 7 p.m. in the Atlanta area. If you are in the Atlanta area, come on down to the Terra Theater off of Cheshire Bridge, right near Lenox Mall. Come on down. We're actually going to put the link in the chat for you to go ahead, get your tickets, reserve your seats. They are going like hotcakes, y'all, and seating is limited. We want you in the space because it's nothing like seeing this on the big screen. And there will be actors there. You could tell us more about what people can expect at the premiere screening.
You go.
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are going to kick things off with opening the doors at 7 p.m. We'll have a step and repeat where you can come in and take some photos and meet the director, the actors, Paul, and those of us that were working on the film. And, and then you'll have some opportunities to share your thoughts about the film and maybe even some of your own things that you would have on your list. There'll be a few giveaways that are going on, a couple of surprises. So just come on out and hang out with us. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be thought-provoking, and we're just so happy to be able to share this with you. So we look forward to seeing you on Saturday the 5th.
Great.
I love it. Anything else before we get ready to close out?
No, I don't.
Wow. I'm like, okay. I would just say, y'all, this is just the beginning for WFGG movies. There are so many other projects that are already in the works, that are already created, completed even, that are just as powerful, if not more. And so this is an opportunity to really what we call get in on the ground level before they blow up. I'm just saying, like, get in while you can, y'all. Like, find out more about them. You can follow WFGG Movies. You can follow them on there's a page on Facebook. It's actually being live on there now, so you can join that group. You can follow Paul D. Sherman. Of course, follow Creativaire. We'll keep you abreast as well. If you're on Instagram, WFGG Movies _, check them out there. Like, we want you to stay connected to these amazing creatives, because there's so much more to come and you don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss it. So
yeah, you don't, man. And I think it's so much, man. It's if you ever have time to talk to Paul and Carla Sherman and ask them what's next, it's a paragraph. Matter of fact, it's a list. It's a list. It's a long list.
It's a list.
And we're just so excited. And man, I can't wait for the premiere. I don't know about you. I can't wait to see it. And can't wait to get people to talk about this, because I feel like this is a talk about movie.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's a movie that people are going to talk about, leave that theater, and even just talk to themselves, honestly, about their relationship with their father or a guardian, honestly, you know what I mean? Because they can go both ways. I know we talk about father and son, but this can easily be a mother and daughter situation too. You know what I mean? A mother and daughter can have a list, you know what I mean? So it's real, man. And I'm just happy to say I'm helped you guys out with this. And man, this is a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else either of you want to share before we close out?
No, I think I'm good. I just want everyone to know when they come and view the film, get the message. There's a message in the end, and I always put, when things start at a negative or whatever, I always find out what's the positive. How do we get to the positive side of this situation? And this movie does just that. It does exactly. It takes you. It ends up taking you exactly where I want you to be. Exactly where God planted you to be with watching this film. When you watch till the end, it's going to get you where you need to be.
Wow.
I love that. There's hope, like that light at the end of the tunnel, or that full circle moment, you know. And that is, like you said, that's the beautiful thing about God, is that he restores and he redeems and he makes all things new. And so the fact that you are able to lead people in a place of hope, regardless of how dire their situation may be, you know, with their father or as a son, or even with their own children, like there's hope on the other side of it. And so your film does just that. And it does a great job, like you were saying, of starting the conversation. We always talk about how short films should start a conversation. You know, they may not bring resolution, they may not, you know, put a nice little bow on it, but they start the conversation. And you start the conversation, but you also point people in the direction of hope. And so that is a beautiful thing, an amazing thing. So we want you all, if you haven't already, click the link in the chat to get your tickets for the premiere screening. And can you all give us the information again for the premiere screening, the date, the time, and the location?
Yes, it's Saturday, August 5th at 7 p.m. at the Terra Theater in Buckhead. And again, we would love to see you. Just go click the link, go to Eventbrite, type in the list, however you have to get there. But reserve your spot. We're looking forward to meeting you.
Yes, we are.
Yes. All right. Well, we're excited that you all were able to join us for our first installment, actually, of Convos with Creatives. You know, this is something we're looking to do moving forward in the future, Creativaire in general. And so we're excited that you all were able to help us kick it off. And again, we're honored to be a part of this process, this journey with you all. We cannot wait to see where it takes you and all the amazing things that are in store for WFGG. All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. And we'll see y'all next time on Convos with Creatives.